here with David Barrera, who's crewing with us on the aircraft today. And David, you've played an incredibly important role in the Bringing the Boys Back Home project.
Yep.
And indeed today's special presentation.
It was very special for me. That required going around to 423 British war graves in the United States. These are all members of the military forces that were there for training and died for one reason or another and were buried in the United States. We tended to the graves, and then we made a rubbing of the tombstone to bring the boys back. This is an example of one of the rubbings that we did.
First thing we did when we arrived here at Guernsey is we had a wonderful ceremony. You know, we have the Bringing the Boys Back Home initiative, and it ends up that there was one of British servicemen from Guernsey, Sylvester Rabey. We have his rubbing, and we made contact with his niece and the family. And so we had a wonderful ceremony where we handed over the rubbing of Sub-Lieutenant Rabey to his family. David Barrera, our wing member, led that initiative. Fantastic. Family was wonderful. We welcomed them on the airplane, got to know them a little bit. I can't put into words how touching it was to reconnect Lieutenant Rabey with his family. They've never had the opportunity to visit the grave, and they probably won't, unfortunately, because Mr. Rabey's grave, along with 18 other naval airmen, is on Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, which is actually an active nuclear submarine base. So it's somewhat of a secured area that's not open to the public. It took a little bit of work to get to the cemetery. We thank the U.S. Navy for being so understanding, and but mission accomplished. One of 423 British servicemen returned home, 422 to go.
After we determined that there was 423, the next big step was, okay, how are we going to get the rubbings done? It required a great effort. We did what should have taken at least 6 months in about 4 weeks. That included getting members from 23 different commemorative Air Force wings, along with 5 other organizations, including the British Embassy in Washington, D.C., and help with RAF members stationed in the United States. So anyway, we brought the boys back, and they're touring around with the plane. We had the great and emotional opportunity to present a family here in Guernsey with the rubbing of one of their members, and family members were here, and we had the presentation of that yesterday. British pilots, sailors, 3 women, scattered out throughout the United States into Hawaii. So, and it wasn't only getting one rubbing of each stone. We wanted 3 sets. One is being archived in the US in the Commemorative Air Force. One is going to be donated to a museum here in the UK. And we wanted a 3rd set so family members could come forward and ask for their particular family member. And that's what we've done here at Guernsey. We brought Sylvester back to his family and handed him off. It's been such a blessing and an emotional journey for me doing this. It's almost like my whole life was meant to be this one time here. So what else can I say about it other than it's a pure blessing, and I'm so glad that my whole life experience, my logistics experiences, Mom being a war bride, my English heritage, it's just all coming into play for this one moment here. So,
well, yeah. David, we owe you genuine thanks for everything you've done, and we're all honoured to have been part of this project.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yep.
It's been a very momentous afternoon so far here in Guernsey, and I'm here with Sue Aldwell, who I gather has played a big role in organising these events and has a very personal connection.
Yes, I do. My job is to organise Liberation Day. As one of my roles as a parliamentarian, And so I've been doing this for the last 4 years. And then this year was going to be a very, very big year, being the 80th. And I had just put a media release out that we were having all these aircraft over. And so I knew that was going to happen. And I had a phone call out of the blue. I had no idea I had any connection at all. And then Chris phoned me and said, "Are you related to Sylvester Rabey?" And I said, "Yes." And then we heard about the etchings and what you were doing.
The Bring the Boys Back Home project, and I mean, absolutely fantastic that we are able to do this and present this to you here today for the 80th anniversary of liberation. It's a very special time.
It is, absolutely. It's been very emotional. When I first heard, I had no idea at all, and it was really emotional because I've heard all my life about him. He was my father's hero. My father was 6 years younger. And so we heard about that he had been in the Fleet Air Arm, he'd been training in America and how he'd lost his life, but we didn't know anything more than that. So to have this was absolutely wonderful.